What's up, YouTube? I'm the nice one, and today we are going to be making a mystic mage battle wizard kind of character. It seems like last time y'all really enjoyed the knight quester model I made, so I'm gonna follow that same sort of format, something short within under 40 minutes, a sort of step-by-step tutorial, just so that we can sort of make a character at the same pace and you can follow along with what I'm doing. Anyway, some housekeeping to get started. As usual, you're going to see all of my keystrokes down here in the bottom right corner, and I will be starting with a base model as usual so that my proportions are consistent with all of my other characters. You can download the base model down in the description, so just look for the link down there. And cool, let's get started. Okay, so battle mage, mystic mage, battle wizard kind of guy. Let's do this. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to start at the top and move our way down. So first we're going to make a mesh like this, a cube. Bring this up with GZ. Use our numpad 3 to go on the side view and then scale it up on the Y axis. Go back to the front view, scale this up on the x-axis to make a square like that. Essentially what we're going to use this cube to basically make a hat. So from here, let's go into edge select mode, Control R to make an edge loop straight down the middle, right click to make sure it's dead center, and then we're going to go Shift Z to go into vertex mode and delete these vertices. Now back in object mode, we're going to select that box and we're going to go mirror modifier. We're going to turn on clipping, and now that you see, I have a mesh that is perfectly symmetrical on both sides. Sweet, let's keep going. So we're going to make another edge loop right here, and then we're going to go at the top view, box select these, and basically just sort of form it around the head to make a bit of a hat brim type shape, because I want to make kind of like a wizard hat, you know. I think that would look pretty good. All right, cool. Next up, let's go back here and make an edge loop right here, and then let's select this one and make an edge loop right here, and then select this one and make an edge loop right about there. Go back into top view, vertex mode, select these three actually, and then bring them out to about here so that they encompass the base mesh head. If you are using a base mesh, we'll do something like this. Yeah, that looks good. Bring it out like this. All right, yeah, I think that's good for now. Now the reason we're doing that is because what we want to do is select these faces, these two faces, and then we're going to extrude up to start making kind of like a brim. Scale it down, and then extrude up one more time, scale this down, maybe bring this back here, maybe do a little rotate, extrude, scale, rotate, and start basically forming kind of like a wizard hat, you know. Another extrude, scale, maybe scale down like that, rotate, and bring it down like this. That looks good. And then we'll do a little cut here, like that, and then maybe we'll grab some of these vertices to sort of maybe do a little bit more finessed kind of pushing our vertices around. Don't worry about the boxy kind of shape right now. We'll fix that later with a subdivision to make it more of a natural organic shape. Right now what we want is just a general hat look like this. I think that looks pretty good. And then let's actually scale this like that so it's more of a pointed hat look. And let's actually make this hat, let's scale this hat up on the x-axis like this, and maybe just scale it up entirely like that. That's a little crazy. But we will bring it down a touch like this. All right, yeah, cool. I don't mind that. Let's mess around with the brim a bit more. Like this, and then go here. Let's move these guys around a little bit, because I want this brim to be a bit larger, because I always imagined kind of like in like Final Fantasy, for example, when those wizard class characters, they always have like a really huge hat. I think that's kind of cute. All right, sweet. Now let's select this edge right here using edge select. Let's go like this. Make sure that we catch all these edges. Let's scale it down a bit so that there's more of a trim, and maybe push it down like that. And then, yeah, okay, good. Cool, yeah, that looks good. Maybe what we can do is we can give it a little bit more deformity if we want. So let's go into edit mode, vertex, like this. Nope, undo that. Nope. Vertex mode, and then go into box select, select these guys, and then rotate this down like that. Yeah, let's do this. Make sure we hit all of those. Rotate this down, maybe like that, just so that it sort of forms around. It looks like it flops down a little bit also. Yeah, awesome. I think that looks pretty good. All right, cool. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how that's looking so far. Let's bring this bad boy down a little bit, and then bring this one like this. All right, cool, perfect. All right, we got a wizard hat. That looks pretty sweet. Now, if we're happy with that, let's add a subdivision modifier, subdivision surface, and bump up the levels, and you see how it turns into more of a sort of organic shape. If we want to really emphasize some of the creases, we can still do that by selecting the edges that we want to crease a bit more obviously, and then going Control B to bevel that. Maybe scroll up once on your mouse wheel to add an edge loop there, and there you go. You got a nice little crease. I think I'm going to do the same thing with these edges right here. Make sure I catch all these. Yeah, perfect. Let's add a little bevel right here. And then let's add one right here as well. Yeah, awesome. That looks good. Cool. Yeah, that looks great. Let's actually do a little bit more tweaking. Like, for example, let's push this forward. Let's push this forward. Let's push some of these. Like that. Yeah, and basically what I'm doing right now is just forming the hat to be a bit more in the shape that I'd like it to be for a hat, you know? Like, for example, I kind of want these to be a bit more in like that. Maybe some of these guys also like this to make kind of a little sharper shape there, a little more sculpted hat shape. And yeah, all right, you know what? That's good enough for now. We can add some more details later, but for what we're doing, this looks pretty sweet. Okay, cool. So now that we have a hat, let's make a vest for this character. Let's start with the torso and work our way down. What I want is sort of like a flowing jacket kind of thing. That's what I imagine whenever I think of like a wizard type character. So we're going to start with a plane, and we'll rotate it. Well, we'll rotate it, not extrude. Let's delete that because I accidentally hit an extrude. So we'll create a plane, rotate that on the x-axis, bring this up straight down right in the middle of his chest, bring this forward like that. And now let's go into edit mode, vertex, or edge select. We'll drop an edge loop right here in the center, and we'll also drop one right beside like this. Now, with these selected, or actually, you know what? We don't even need to do that. We can go straight into vertex mode and then add a mirror modifier right here. Cool. Now, in edge mode, let's add one edge loop right here. And then we'll do clipping. And we will go into face and select this face and delete it. So now we have two faces that are separated but mirrored. And we can use this to start making the jacket. So we'll start extruding basically a rough shape around this character. So we'll start with under the armpits, and then we're going to use the join function to connect the edges after we're done making like basically making a rough shape for him. So let's do this, and make sure you have clipping turned on. We'll do this, and then you'll notice that once I bring these edges back to the symmetry, back to the line of symmetry, they connect. And that lets them join so that they become one piece. And that is exactly how we want this to work. Okay, perfect, cool. So let's keep going. So let's actually bring these edges right here up for a second. Not that one. Let's bring these edges that I selected here. Let's bring this up so that they actually intersect with the arms. And that's okay for this overlapping geometry for a second, because we're going to fix that at a point later. Basically, what I want right now is kind of like a shape of a mystical kind of cloak kind of thing. That's what we're going for. So we're just doing a rough some boxing right now to get the rough shape. We can scale this on the Z just to make it a little more flat or square, just like that. And then let's go back to the front view. We'll extrude this down and maybe like this, and scale on the X like that, just so that it fits. And we'll go one more time down, scale on the X like this, scale on the X again, like this. And we will probably do that one more. Let's do that one more time. We'll do something like this, scale on the X again, and we'll do that. All right, cool. Yeah, that's looking great. So let's just fix how these vertices are intersecting with his butt back here, like that. Basically, just push these around so that they are a bit more formed to the mesh. Okay, that's not. I did not want to fill that. Sorry, for a second there, I accidentally filled in some geometry, which was definitely not what I wanted. Okay, awesome. That looks great. Yeah, cool. That looks awesome. All right, so let's bring this guy up just so that they are even, like this. And let's bring this here and here, like this. Yeah, just like that. That's perfect. Nice, that looks awesome. Okay, cool. So let's select this guy and maybe scale it on the Y. Do the same thing here, scale on the Y just to make it a bit bigger. And then maybe I'll do a little rotate like that. Something like this. Okay, cool. That's looking like a good jacket. I like it. Next up, we're going to do something interesting. We're going to apply this mirror modifier so that they are no longer being symmetrical. And then we're going to select this edge right here. We're actually going to select this whole face, because what I want to do is I want this jacket to sort of overlap. So let's go into the side profile here, and let's bump this part of the jacket forward a little bit, just like that, right? And then let's take this edge loop right here and just push it a tiny bit back, like that, just so that they look like they can go over each other. Next up, let's select this edge right here, and we'll do an extrude in, like that, perfect. And then we'll do one more, we'll do this one. We'll select this edge loop right here, and we'll do an extrude out, so that they kind of overlap. And it makes kind of like a military style, kind of like a pea coat type of thing. Yeah, perfect, that looks awesome. So let's select the whole thing, and let's do an extrude, and just scale it up a little bit. So the extrusion gave us the thickness we needed to, make this clothing feel like it has some weight to it. Also, when you 3D print, it'll make things easier. But now, if you look at this, okay, scale it in like that a little bit. Now, if you look at it, you'll see that it sort of overlaps a little bit, which is exactly what we're going for here with this character's coat, which I think looks pretty sweet right now. And then let's actually go back into face select and select this, this, and this. And we can actually bring these out a bit. Let's bring it down and out like that so that it flares a bit more. And rotate it maybe like that. Yeah, give it a nice kind of awesome kind of flare there. And then we'll select this one, and this one. We'll do the same thing. So we'll bring this down and rotate and give it like a flare. Yeah, cool, nice. That looks pretty awesome, I gotta say. Loving that. Okay, cool. That looks sweet. Next up, we are going to do a subdivision surface so that things look a bit smoother. And we are going to bump up the levels. Now, I'm pretty happy with how this is looking so far. I do probably want to select these middle vertices and maybe scale it in so that they're a bit tighter around the waist. And maybe bump these up like that, so they're a bit wider. Because I want to have that V shape. I want that sort of hourglass shape for this person. Let's edit this underlying mesh a little bit. Let's maybe scale it in on just so that it fits. All right, cool. That looks pretty good, actually. Nice. All right, now let's do a couple more things. Let's select this edge right here and maybe select this edge. And we'll select this edge. Let's see what we got. We got that. And we could probably select this. Probably select this one and this one. Yeah. Maybe this guy. And this guy. And basically what you see me doing is selecting the edges around these edges that sort of make the trim of the jacket. Because what I want to do is do a Control B bevel, and you'll notice that when I do that, the edges become way sharper. And that is exactly what we're looking for. I think I missed some edges here, so I'm going to select these guys and these guys. And maybe do another bevel right here as well. There we go. Nice. That looks awesome. Okay, cool. We got a pretty wicked looking jacket right now. Okay, cool. I like that. So let's see how we're gonna deal with this collar. You know what? Let's just bump up this collar actually, because I'm running out of time and I don't want to take up your whole day. So we'll go into edit mode, edges, vertices. We'll bump it up like this. Like that. Maybe go something like this. Yeah, that looks good. And then let's bring it in a little bit. We could probably add a edge loop right here if we wanted to, and then probably bring this edge loop up like that, just so that it actually forms around the neck a bit. And then we could probably do one more right here. Bring this up and out like that, so that we still get that shape that we wanted. And then we'll scale it on the Y just so that it doesn't look too inflated. And yeah, cool. Okay, so now that we've given it a bit more of a sort of neck shape here, let's take this collar trim and let's just bump it up a bit. So let's go into face select, edge select, and I want faces, and let's select these faces right here. Yeah, let's select these faces, and then let's control select these ones so that we can deselect the ones we don't really need. We can deselect this guy. We can deselect this guy. Okay, we're trying to deselect this one. There we go. Okay, cool. Now that we got those selected, let's just bring it up a bit, like that, to give it kind of like a trim. Yeah, there we go. Cool. That looks great. Nice. That looks great. Okie dokie, cool. So we got a torso, we got a hat, and we got a jacket. So that's looking awesome. Let's continue and let's make some sleeves. So to do that, well, actually, you know what? Before we do that, let's add an edge loop right here to sharpen this, and we'll add one more here as well to sharpen that. Yeah, perfect. That looks awesome. Let's throw one like right here for good measure. All right, cool. Yeah, that looks awesome. All right, sweet. So let's continue and do the sleeves. So the way we'll do this is, I think we're just gonna do something simple and do a cube. Let's take a cube and drop it right here. And we don't even need to really mirror modifier this, if I'm honest with you. Instead, what we'll do is just sort of box shape this as we go. So we're gonna extend this down to about here. Maybe do like this, and then extend this in and bring it down like that. Because what I want to do is make this look like it's a sleeve that's sort of going into a gauntlet. So let's add an edge loop right here. Maybe scale that down. Let's select this edge loop right here and maybe scale it down a bit as well. And then let's add an edge loop right here, and then select this and this one, and bring it out a little bit like that. And let's select these ones and bring this out a little bit, just like that. Okay, awesome. Cool, that looks great. You know what? Let's do one more here and select these guys. Bring this down a little bit. Select these guys and bring this up a little bit. Okay, cool. So let's go back into front view. Let's go into edit mode and edit our vertices. And we can actually turn on proportional editing here. And when we move it around, you'll notice that there's this circle here. If you increase the size of the scroll wheel, you'll notice that the circle impacts some of the vertices around. And that's good. It doesn't impact it directly like a one-to-one relationship. It's kind of like a fall off. So think of it as like proportional editing. If you edit the selected ones, the adjacent ones will be modified as well. So you can just do that here using this little proportional editing button. Yeah, awesome. So let's do that and then bring this in a little bit. And yeah, cool. That looks like a sleeve. So let's subdivide this so that it is a little more organic. And then let's add a couple of edge loops to give it sort of give it some sharpness to it that I personally really like. Okay, cool. That looks great. So I think what we probably need to do is move around these guys a bit more so that they encompass the underlying base mesh a bit better. Yeah, perfect. And then we'll add another edge loop right here. Yeah, just like that. And one more right here. Just like this. Okay, cool. That looks awesome. All right, great. We got a sleeve now. Let's do a glove. Let's do a glove. So let's do another. I think we'll do another cube. I'll bring this right here, rotate this, and bump it up a little bit like that. And then we will select this face and extrude in like this. Maybe do a rotate, bring it here and scale so that it fits the wrist a bit more nicely. And then we'll do this to scale it in. And then we'll select this face and bump that out because we want a glove that sort of kind of like a gauntlet like we did before. And then I'll just move this back a little bit, just like that. Cool. So let's add some edge loops as per usual, like that. And then let's move these two. Let's move these two out, and let's move these two out, just like that. And move these two up, and move these two down. Yeah, cool. And then we'll select these four faces if we can, and we'll bring it down a bit so that it fits the wrist just a little bit more snugly. Cool. Yeah, that looks awesome. Perfect. All right. Perfect. Cool. So now that we have this glove, we will add a subdivision to smoothen it. And then we're going to go ahead and add a couple bevels. So let's select this edge loop right here. Make sure we get all of these edges right here. We'll add a Control B to bevel this. And we'll do the same thing here. And I think I gotta get this guy. We'll do Control B, bevel this. Yeah, perfect. Nice. Okay. Let's select this edge loop. Maybe sort of scale it a little bit. There we go. Nice. Okay, we got a sleeve for this character. That's looking pretty sweet, I gotta say. All right, nice. So let's do the boots. Yeah, let's do the boots. So we're gonna hide this for a second and give this character some boots. So I think I want to do that by taking a cube and bumping it up a little bit like this. And I think I want to give him sort of like riding boots. I think that would look cool. So let's position this cube right around like just above the knee. And then let's go into edit mode, face. And then we'll extrude it down to here. Something like this. Something like this is probably good. We'll probably do this like that. And then let's select this face and we'll probably do something like that. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, cool. Go back into face, 3, and bump this up. Let's see how this is fitting. Edit mode, like that. Make sure we turn back on our mesh. And we'll probably do this actually. And we'll add an edge loop. Well, yeah, let's add an edge loop right there. So that we can move this around. Add an edge loop right here. So we can bump that up so that it fits the calf. This. And then let's go into vertex selection mode and just fit this to the underlying mesh like we usually do. So we'll bump these up a little bit. Yeah, cool. All right, great. Nice, that looks good. So let's add a edge loop right here. Or actually, even before we do that, let's take this face down here and extrude it down like this, and basically just make a shape of a foot. I'll extrude this forward a little bit. Maybe even like that is good. Maybe forward a little bit more one more time. Bring it down just like that, so that we get an actual like boot here. Okay, great. Now let's add an edge loop. And then we'll scale up this edge loop on the Y so it's a bit more rounded. Yeah, that looks awesome. Then we will go into edit mode and do this. Select these ones and bring this back a little bit. Bring this up, maybe bring this forward. Bring these back so that they sort of fit a little more nicely on the foot. Yeah, great. So let's select this edge right here, and we'll actually bevel this, but we will not. We'll scroll down on our mouse wheel so that it sort of creates kind of like a flat edge and that there's no line in between, just to round things out a little bit here. Do the same thing here. Yeah, that's perfect. And we'll do the same thing here. Nice. Okay, cool. That looks great. Let's take these edges, let's take these vertices and move this, push these down a little bit, because they look to be overlapping, not overlapping, but sort of vertices that are right on top of each other, which is a bit problematic for us. And there we go. Yeah, great. Take these guys, bring it down so that it's even. And there we go. Boom. We got a boot. That looks awesome. We could probably actually get rid of these. Cool. That looks great. Let's add a subdivision surface and bump up the levels. And then let's select this edge up here. We'll do as we usually do, which is a nice little bevel. Great. And you know what? We could probably bevel the bottom here. So let's select these edges right here. And we'll do a bevel again, just like that. Nice, awesome. All right, cool. We got some boots. Let's turn back on our jacket, see how that sits. Yeah, love that. Okay, great. And now let's duplicate, let's mirror these on the opposite side so that we have some symmetry. And let's mirror this guy. Yeah, and then let's mirror this guy. Mirror. So I'm hitting mirror, and then you notice I'm hitting this eyedropper tool and hitting this circle reference in the back. Essentially, if you don't have this circle here, all you need to do is just go mesh, make any shape really. I just like a circle. Bring it back a little bit on the Y so that you can see it, and then rotate it 90 degrees on the X so it's front facing, and then just position it somewhere above. Just make sure that you position it using GZ so that it stays perfectly symmetrical on the Z axis. Yeah, okay. There you go. We're basically there with this like rough character. So we could probably maybe add a few more details to really hammer home the battle wizard theme or ideas. So let's add a belt, and we'll do that by taking a plane like that and bringing it forward here, bringing it like this, like that. Cool. And then let's add an edge loop right here, delete these vertices and add a mirror modifier. Make sure you turn on clipping, and then let's just go around the hips. I guess the waist, really. Just like that. Perfect. Cool, that looks great. Let's scale it in on the Y a bit, and then up like this. And then actually, let's bump it up a tiny bit, just like that. And then select this edge, add an edge loop, and do this. Yep, perfect. And then let's select this edge loop, scale this up like that. Nope, scale, I want to select these right here, scale this up, maybe even bring it down, and do a scale. Yeah, there we go. I'm basically trying to make kind of like a little, kind of like another layer of cloth, or what maybe will be kind of like a belt for this character. Let's go in 3, maybe push it back a little bit. Yeah, okay, great. That looks awesome. So let's select this whole thing and we'll extrude it out like that and scale it down on the Y and extrude out, scale down on the Y. Yeah, perfect. Okay, cool. It's kind of chunky on the Y axis here, so we'll just bring it down a little bit. And then we'll bump it down to here, I'd say, maybe. Yeah, maybe do like scale the whole thing up on the Z. And maybe bring it back a little bit more. Yeah, cool. Now, let's go into edit mode. Let's check these vertices. And we want to just basically just kind of move it around a little bit so that it doesn't intersect as harshly with the jacket, and we don't have as many overlapping geometry, because that can be kind of hard when you're 3D printing. All right, awesome. That looks great. Let's move this guy over here, and then let's take this guy and let's bump it out Oh, you know what, actually, no, this is good. Mainly because, you know what, let's do it. We'll bump this guy out a little bit, and then we'll bump it out a little bit here as well. Yeah, there we go. Just so that we don't have overlapping geometries. Perfect. Cool. Nice. An extra little belt there. Let's add a subdivision to make it a little bit smoother. Bump up the levels a touch. And then let's do my favorite thing, which is adding bevels. So we could probably select these faces like this in a loop. Do kind of like a face loop if we really wanted to. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Go into edge mode and bevel these. Just like that. There we go. Nice. That looks awesome. Cool. Let's select this and add an edge loop right here. Maybe one right here. Cool. That looks great. Yeah, that looks great. Let's add maybe a couple more details, and we can probably call it from here. So let's add a plane, rotate on the X, bring it forward like that, bring it back like this. Do the same thing, edge loop, straight down the center, vertex select, delete these vertices, edge mode, and go at the top. It's kind of hard to see, but basically you're going to extrude, and hopefully if you notice around here, the edge is moving, the line is moving, and you can basically extrude E, 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 E. That. Oh, I think I forgot. I actually forgot to put a mirror modifier. So let's see if I mirror it right now. Turn on clipping. Okay, yeah. And that extrusion allowed me to sort of make a belt around this character. Yeah, let's do one more belt. Basically, I'm trying to do layers of cloth and stuff. I think that always ends up looking really good. And it adds the detail that I really like. Let's select this right here. Okay, that looks pretty good on the front. What we need now is to move these back like that. And then we need to select these right here, like that. And then let's move this guy. Let's move this guy forward. This. Yeah, cool. Nice. That looks great. Let's bring it up maybe like that. Cool. That looks awesome. Yeah, nice. Just a bunch of layers of cloth. Let's add a subdivision to smooth it out. Actually, you know what? Let's extrude it. So E to extrude, right click to undo the extrusion sizing, and S to scale it. And there we go. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Let's bump this down. Perfect. Now let's add a subdivision so that's smoothed. And we got a belt. Yeah, that looks great. Let's select this. Bevel that. Select this guy and bevel this. Yeah, perfect. Cool. That looks awesome. Let's go into edge select. Bring this back a little bit just so that it is sitting properly. Nice. Okay, cool. This wizard's coming together pretty nicely. I do like how it looks. Maybe we can make a quick belt buckle. So we'll make a cube. Let's just bring it over here real quick. Scale it in on the Y like this. Scale it on the X like that. Perfect. Now let's go into edge mode. Let's right Control R to edge loop. Scroll up on your mouse wheel to add a few more edges, and then right click so that it's perfectly center. Then we'll select these two right here and extrude. And there you go. Got like a nice little belt buckle. You know what? Let's select these. Or actually, I want to select these edges right here. Yeah, I'm just sort of manually selecting these. Make sure I go like that. And then B, like this, just to give it a bit of a trim. And let's see what happens when we subdivide this. Yeah, okay, cool. Let's add a bevel right here to sharpen it. And let's add another bevel right here to sharpen this. Cool, perfect. Yeah, that's good enough. Let's take this guy, bump it right there, and then let's bring it forward a little bit, just so that it sits nicely where we want it. All right, cool, there you go. So let's just repeat this element around his gauntlets. So I'm gonna go here like this. Let's rotate it 90 and scale on the Y, scale on the X like that, so it's a bit thicker. And then we will rotate it down like that. You know, let's put it right around here as like a kind of a cuff. And then we'll go on the side. Just like that. Yeah, cool. That looks cool. Let's do... Yeah, that looks great. Now, let's take this same thing and we'll just do rotate that. Maybe do a couple more like this. Yeah, just like that. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, awesome. That looks cool. Yeah, we got that motif of the belt loops going around. Love it. We'll do it one more time, except we'll add it to the boots, just so that there's some cohesion. Just like that. Let's bump it down. And then we'll bring it back, just like that. And we'll bring this back like this. And then let's duplicate this up. We bump it up. And there we go. Could probably scale this on the Y as well. There we go. Nice. That looks awesome. Yeah, that looks really great. I gotta say, I like this a lot. Perfect. So now, I think all that's left... you know what? I think we can call it here, to be honest with you. I think once you add the character painting, that will look really, really, really sweet. Yeah, cool. There we go. We bring this hat down. Bring this hat down a little bit, just like that. Oh, that's way too big. And there we go. So all we have to do is, again, mirror these over onto the opposite side. So let's select these and we'll do convert to mesh. And then we'll add one more mirror modifier. Well, actually Control J to join them. And then we'll add one more mirror modifier on the other side. Making sure that our target is the reference right there. And we'll do the same thing for these guys. We'll do right click, convert to mesh. Convert to mesh, and Control J to join, and mirror modifier to get it on the other side. And there you go. Boom. There we go. Now we got sort of like a battle wizardy looking kind of character. I think that looks pretty sweet. Didn't do the hair, because if you want, I can do like a little video about the hair another day. But this gives you all of this. This should give you all of the stuff you need in order to make sort of the outfit of a battle wizard with like a cool little mystical jacket. So hope you liked it. As usual, if you have any questions, leave a comment down below and I'll try to help you as best I can. Or if you have any advice on how to improve my process, would love to know from people more experienced. And yeah, thanks for your time. I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye.
Thanks for watching the video. If you like my content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Let me know down below what you want to see next, or just check out some of these other great videos. Thanks for tuning in. I'll talk to you later.